So Greg, what's in the case?
I got a new toy.
Me too, but I'm giving mine away today.
Hey everyone, welcome to Keep Shooting Monday, number 95. My name is Greg Cazillo from Cazillo.com.
I'm Kathy Azar from Catherine Azar Photography.
So we have our 7 weeks of Christmas photo contest coming up pretty soon. Ooh, I need my phone for this. We're going to be giving away the BlackRapid Strap for the week 1. And but before we get into that, before we actually give that away, let's talk about the whole photo contest. You could win as a grand prize the Epson 3880, or as a second prize, an R2000 as a third prize, a Think Tank Photo Airport Security, which is an awesome camera bag. And of course, all of the 9 finalists, they will all win a 16x20 print. So we've had some really cool submissions so far. Don't forget to let us know. I've had a number of people post to Facebook, and they don't tell me which category they want their photo to be in.
Put your category on there.
Yeah, so make sure you mention what the category is. And if you didn't, a lot of those I actually posted on there and I said category ? If you don't tell me what category it's in,
we'll assign it.
I don't know if we can assign it.
I
don't know. I'm on the fence for some of them.
All right.
I'm on the fence, so I'd rather you guys go back, comment, just to be 100% sure. So get your photos submitted either on Twitter, Facebook, or Google. Head back to the other video. We'll put a link back over there for the full details. All right, so let's give that bad boy away.
Okay, let's give it away. This is for the weekly prize. And by the way, we're getting more and more vendors who are linking up with us to give away weekly prizes. So be watching for that, some really cool companies. And if you have a company and you're interested in having us give something away for you and chat about you, we'd be happy to do so. Let us know.
Absolutely. So what I'm actually going to do is just this fun thing. And so I have all the mentions and notifications. I have the Twitter app up on my phone. And so I'm just going to flick it and then drop my thumb on one of the people. And whoever it is, that's the person that's going to win the BlackRapid Strap. All right? Are we ready?
We're ready.
3, 2, and I'm flicking. You know what? I'm going to give it a couple flicks, and there. Janell Barger. Janell Barger is the person who won the BlackRapid Strap. So we'll get BlackRapid to send that strap out to you. And it sounds like Janell is a female, so she may want one of the women's straps, or maybe the fancy ones, maybe the pink one. So Janell, I will send you a DM later on today. All right?
Absolutely. Congratulations. So Greg was sitting in the corner as we were looking at content for the news section of the show, just chuckling. I was like, what are you chuckling at? And so he sent me the link, and it is right up my alley. As you know, I used to be a former elementary school teacher, singular. It wasn't more than one of me. So kids react to old cameras, and it is this clip. Apparently, it's a series of things of kids reacting to an old film camera, and it is really cute. Not knowing how to load the film, what actually film even was,
and it making noise.
It was very funny. And one of the things that came out of it for me was the interviewer asked the kids, "How many of you have actual photographs that you can hold and touch?" And the kids were like,
none.
They didn't have them.
Don't barely even know what it is.
Remember, print your images.
Yes.
And if you enter the photo contest, you may actually even win a printer. So print your images, get them on your walls, get them into albums, because digital's tentative.
Yep.
So
speaking of which, how many, I guess the question for this is well, let me back up. We have another contest coming up for this week, 7 weeks of Christmas photo contest. We're going to be giving away stuff each and every week. So the first question, we want you to comment on this YouTube video. We're going to pick someone from this comment for next week's winner, which is going to be a Lexar memory card. I had an interview with them. I'm going to be posting that interview coming up this week. Hopefully tomorrow I'll get that posted. And they're kind enough to give away a couple cards and add on to the contest.
who couldn't use more cards?
Yeah, you always need more cards. Speaking of which, we had an issue with that, so you could have used additional cards.
Could have.
Anyway, comment about something on the show, something pertinent from today's show. Watch this video. Tell us which one of the kids you think was the cutest or something. So,
or comment about film. Do you shoot with film?
Yep.
Did you ever shoot
idea.
with film? Are you too young to have shot with film?
I did.
I was telling Greg, I remember my mom's old camera with a little flash bulb that would rotate, and you'd get 4 shots out of it before it was done, and you had to put a new one on. Do any of you remember flash bulbs? So each news thing we're going to talk about, we're going to ask a question. So if any of them resonates with you, go ahead and comment.
Yep, please make those, and somebody could win a Lexar card if they come up this week. So
we went from the cutesy
Yes.
to something else that Greg was like, I love this guy.
This guy, Harlan Ellison. This is it was a video that was posted over on Petapixel, and it's actually an older video from like 2007. But it doesn't matter. He's actually a writer, a movie writer, TV writer. I don't know how you want to say it, but probably does everything. He basically is talking about giving stuff away for free. And, he was commenting on where Warner Brothers, this big, huge movie studio that makes, probably $1 billion a year, is trying to give away his work. And I totally understand his perspective on this. Where'd you put those quotes in here, Kathy?
Right
here. Down here at the bottom. Yeah, they always want the writer, or what do you mean, sub-photographer?
If you put in photographer, a lot of companies want the photographer to do the same thing.
I see. So they always want the writer or photographer, in this case, so it applied to us, to work for nothing. And the problem is there's no bleep. Many writers who have no idea what they're supposed to be paid every time that they do something, they do it for nothing. One of the other cool quotes was, would you go to the doctor and ask them to take out your spleen for nothing? God, it was such a cool video. I love watching this. I'm going to watch this like every single day.
He did say that to me. He's going to watch it over and over and over because he loves
over and over. It's perfect.
Because Greg talks about this a lot, that photographers give away too much for
Way
free.
too much. And I kind of scolded you for doing it not that long ago. And I hate to say it, but how much press did you get from that one thing you did? I'm not going to say it.
Yeah.
What it was, but
so for me, I think part of it as a newer photographer, when a company comes to you and says, "We like your work, we want to use it in our whatever," you're like, "Oh, woo!"
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Harlan talks about that. Like he says there's no publicity value in a lot of this stuff, and I honestly went into it not expecting any work, but liking the fact that I could say, "Hey, I was published," and using it for that aspect of it, which got me some buzz with my neighbors and friends, but nothing that was like, oh, we saw your work in this magazine and now we're gonna use you.
Did they call you back and want you to do more work again for them for free?
No.
So it was just that one-time thing, and that's it. So that's exactly what they're doing. This is a local magazine that's probably has a radius of what, 50 miles, 70 miles, somewhere around here. And they just, they're probably going from one to the next to the next to the next photographer to get free stuff. Their point was
they like to highlight different photographers from their perspective. So would I do it again?
That sounds like their, you know what I mean? That's just their buzzword. Well, that's their sales pitch to you, is what that was.
And I can go on both sides of that fence.
Yeah.
I really can.
If they wanted to do a true interview style where you talk about what you're doing and putting your photos on there, okay, I could see that, and that sales pitch would make sense to me. But since it was a sales pitch for something else, it was photos for something else or someone else,
that benefited them.
It doesn't make sense to me.
I see both ways, but for sure, a lot of companies, like you said, or like Harlan says, want your stuff to benefit them when it really doesn't benefit you as much as you would hope.
Now, you also said to me earlier, well, should you not be giving stuff away for free? And yes, you should be doing stuff for free, but you should be picking and choosing when it goes out for free and how much you do for free. And anytime someone comes to you and asks you to give it away for free, you need to err on the side of, no, I need to get paid first. And that's the first answer. No, I need to get paid. And then maybe think about it, work with them, and research them, see who they are. If they are a true nonprofit, then help them out. But if it's some company out there that's making money off of your work, then you should not be giving it away for free, in my opinion.
And I think you have to look at each case
Yes,
by case. Because like we've talked about, I do a lot for some local charities for free.
And charities are different. You know what I mean? They're truly able to, they're true nonprofits. You can do something with it. You know, they're benefiting from it, yes, and it's a real charity. I don't have a problem with charity work.
Or I'm also partnering with different companies, and I do stuff for free for them, and they're marketing for me too. There's a woman who I'm talking with right now who does a lot of dog things. Like she sews and makes collars and all sorts of things. And we're talking about how can we partner to help each other out.
Partnerships are different.
Yeah.
Partnerships, once again, that's a definite exception.
Yeah.
But always, if you're a real pro, you really want to make money at this, then you need to always be thinking, how am I going to make money out of this? And if it doesn't look like, if it's just a one-time shot, something like that, you're probably not going to get much or anything out of it.
And linking from that to another article that I had found that we have talked about before, The Photographer's Guide to Self-Promotion, which is it's an article in Digital Photography School. And we'll have to link, because I did a whole article on ways to get your foot in the door, which is similar to this. So I'll have to send that to you as a blog post that I'd done a while back.
Okay.
So this is an article about how do you get your name out there? If maybe giving stuff for free to big companies is not the way, how else do you do that, especially without seeming like you're me, and that's what it says, the fear of self-promotion as well.
But that's a little bit of, you kind of have to be that way on social media.
Well, that's one of the things. It says get your business online, it talks about social media, help and over-deliver. So really make your clients happy so that they want to promote you.
One point about the social media thing, don't do the social media first and your website second. I was actually working with a client this week, and a potential client, I should say, for a new website, and we're looking at their website, and they're talking about doing a social media campaign first. And I said, no, we got to start out with having your website set up first and looking good. Then in a couple months, once it's set and ready to go and ranking, then we'll work on your social media, but your website has to come first.
Well, because you want your social media to tie back to your website. You want people to be able to have somewhere to go when they say, oh, Kathy Azar, let me go check her out. They've got to have something to be able to look at.
If you have a construction page or no images on your site, it's not going to go anywhere.
No.
All right.
Going from that to the Think Tank launch. We talked about this with Think Tank when we were at the expo. Going to go for it?
Think Tank has some new bags for their small mirrorless system. They have some little backpacks. They have their little digital holster. So some really cool stuff for smaller cameras. Micro Four Thirds. What do they call that? MFT is the acronym for Micro Four Thirds. And I'm looking at that. I was looking at that one day. I'm like, what is MFT? MFT. And finally, it clicked, or somebody told me, and yeah, Micro Four Thirds.
You send me stuff all the time in a text with abbreviations, and I know if I ask you, you're going to yell at me. So I go over into the internet and I look at. Well,
it's not yelling.
You would tell me, look it up, or you'd laugh at me for not knowing. The age gap between us shows when you text me those things. I'm like, what does that mean? So,
I was teaching a class the other day, and everybody in the class has a different camera, and they finally started to one of the things I wrote on the board was RTFM.
I know what that means.
And they finally, and the lady started to answer the question, and she's like, RTFM, right? I'm like, yep.
Yeah.
So I found this, and we didn't talk about it, but I'm going to add it in anyway. Manfrotto is actually... What?
Manfrotto.
Sorry, she's beating me. This abuse. Manfrotto is actually releasing a new lens filter lineup. So hopefully we can talk to them and get them to send some samples over for us to play with. And can I talk about my toy now?
You may talk about your toy now.
Okay. So Spider, or Datacolor, sent over one of their Spider HD kits. And this is by no means going to be a full review, which will be coming soon, I promise. But first, it comes in this nice fancy little case, which is cool. And we have some other parts and pieces in here. So we have the stand and the holders for the actual Spider. This thing is actually the string to hold it to a larger device if you need to. And there's another little stand. And this little guy, which is actually really cool, it's called the Spider Cube, and allows you to set your black level, your white level, a middle gray, and a white point with your brightest white point all in that one little cube, and it's actually a really cool device. Personally, I'd definitely be using this for any kind of like a product shoot, any kind of product, anything that I really need to be very particular about how it looks and the color, that kind of thing. For most of my portrait sessions, I don't know that I'd be doing it, but you know, you never know. Maybe one in the beginning or something like that. I was actually shooting a kitchen the other day, and I used it, and it was actually really nice. I also used this guy, which is a spider checker, basically a color checker chart, and it gives you all the different colors, so you can hit your black point and your white point and have more advanced colors for setting it up. And then on the top here, it actually has a little 1/4-20 thing that you push up, and you can take this and attach it to the top, and so you can have both of them all in one shot. So what you do with this thing is you take a picture with this in the frame when your lighting changes, or at the beginning of a shoot, or basically every time the light changes. Take a picture of this, set your black level, set your white level, and you can put the cube on top and set your balance there, and you have all of your colors. And
so
then
I've never done this. So setting your black levels and white levels in the camera, are you adjusting right then, or do you use that when you're in post?
use as a reference in post.
Okay.
So you would actually be setting those in Photoshop or in Lightroom, that kind of thing. And then of course you have your Spider 4, which you need to calibrate your monitor with, so that you know that you're setting it correctly. So that's all important, all works together. This can be used for video and photography. It works really well with the higher end video cameras, like what's the name of that one all of a sudden, like the Red Epic, which is a super expensive camera, which you can use, which shoots raw video basically. So I'm gonna have a full review of that thing coming up soon. I've already been playing with it, so pretty cool.
So a couple more news items. How do photographers get over their biggest fears? Posted in Pop Photo. And I thought about that because as a newer photographer, I'm getting more and more comfortable every time I go out on a shoot. But in the beginning, I was always so nervous going out on a shoot for fear that I was going to mess something up or not get a setting right, or that I was going to struggle or posing. And the more you shoot, I think the more fears you get over. But as experienced as you are, do you still have fears?
Always the major screw up, you know, and something that you can't reshoot. For things that I like, shooting a wedding or portraits, anything like that, those are, you know, I don't worry about those at all. I can almost do them in my sleep. But it's more the big commercial shoot that, you know, I screw something up, or forgetting a piece of gear, or not charging a battery, or somebody dropping something, or like a card getting accidentally formatted, stuff like that. The little stuff that you absolutely can't control, those are the things that kind of worry me.
I'm afraid that the client's not going to be happy. Like, I can do my best job and love the photos, and if the client is expecting something else, that's scary. Yeah, and not panicking. I talked to Greg before about a story. I was doing a photo shoot with a Marine. It was a charity shoot that we were doing, and the company that he was working with kept moving me around. They weren't sure where they wanted me to set up, and I had my backdrops and all that. And so we were getting close to go time, and I needed time to get my lighting right. And I said, I'm starting to get a little panicky here. And he said, you're with a Marine. Marines don't panic. And this wave of like, okay, suck it up, let's go, wave washed over me. And that reverberates in my mind over and over. Even though I'm not with a Marine at that time, Marines don't panic.
Two points about that. Number one, I actually heard that from a photographer years ago. Look, just don't let the client see you sweat. And so, you know, just keep going, find a way. But then also, if they keep moving you, and yes, it's getting close to go time, what I do is I put the onus back on them. Yeah. You know, you guys keep on moving me. Things are going to get pushed back. Timing isn't going to work. We need to set this right now, otherwise we will not have time. And you put that onus back on them, then they're more likely to make a decision and stick with it. and it's a better way to go. So
you are very good. He's on a shoot. He's like this, and I can ask him questions in the very beginning when I was learning. I would. You'd be in this high tension moment. I'm like, "What are you doing? Why are you doing that? How are you doing that? What are your settings?" And you would just be like, "Doom, ba doom, ba doom."
Rattle it off.
Yeah.
Rattle it off. Yeah.
Yep, nothing rattles you.
Sometimes. So, all right. So we had a couple other products we were going to talk about, right?
Well, the Sony.
Yes. So the Sony Pro Imaging Support. I don't know. Is it SIPS, Sony Imaging Pro Support, or is it just SPS? Because Nikon has Nikon Professional Support, Canon Professional Support, but this says Sony Imaging Pro Support. So I guess it's SIPS. I don't know. Anyway, we'll see.
I'm looking.
Looking for an acronym, but there's no acronym here on the DP review article. Anyway, they're going to be supporting you, or if you're a pro, probably giving you some extra benefits, that kind of thing. Every company has kind of a level as to what you get, although it's interesting that a special invitation from Sony Electronics is required, as is an annual $100 a year membership fee.
Is there a fee for the Nikon one?
No, there's no fee for Nikon. As far as I know, there's no fee for Canon.
Interesting.
Well, let me rephrase that. Technically, there is a fee for Nikon.
You have to have the
gear.
gear.
You have to have a certain level of gear. As far as I know, it's 3 pro lenses and 2 pro bodies. And no, your 7000 doesn't
My
fit
610,
there.
we're not sure.
I think it might, but I would definitely say that if you bought a 750 or an 800, then they would definitely fit.
And now I want a 750. We always want new stuff, don't we?
Yeah.
That's another question. What new stuff do you want?
That's a good question.
Oh, we also didn't go over the Pop Awards.
Oh, yes.
So in Pop Photo, 2014 Pop Awards, and I get a number of different photography magazines, and this was in one of them too, the best new photography gear of the year. And several of the companies with whom we met at the expo are in here, including the circular fisheye that I want from Lens Baby. That's on my Christmas list. That's one of the new items of the year. The Sigma 50mm art lens that you talked to Sigma about is on there. The Elinchrom ELC Pro HD 500 strobe is on there. The Tamron 16-300, we talked to Tamron. Sony's new A7S camera.
You know what's interesting? There's some rumors out there that Sony has something really huge coming out in a new camera or a new sensor. So hopefully we can get something out of them, hint, hint.
Just to share, we'd love that.
To get some more information.
Because I was impressed when we did that side-by-side comparison. I would love to be able to play with one and see how it stacks up.
It would definitely be a culture shift, though, to be only working with EVF, electronic viewfinders, instead of, you know, a mirrored camera.
Yeah.
And I've been working with a mirrored camera my entire career. It would be I think it would be a tough shift to go over to that. But
I don't know.
Sony puts, you know, Sony, as far as I know, their electronic viewfinders are really good, and I don't know.
I would love to play with it and learn. I'm a pretty quick study.
Yeah.
And the other one is Manfrotto.
Yes.
X Pro 3-way head, which you love their
heads
on there.
The video heads, we're using one right now into this camera, and I'm talking to them about getting a new tripod because I may need one for another project that I'm working on.
That's just since I stole one of your other ones.
Yeah, another new toy / needed equipment for another project. Anyway, so comment on something from today so you can win that Lexar memory card. Don't just say, you know, comment or first or something like that. You know, give us something intelligent.
Or even ask us a question. Ask a question, comment on the video and as a whole or the video series. Positive works better than negative when you're trying to win something.
And maybe we can get a couple cards out of Lexar. Hopefully it's not just one.
Great.
Hopefully it's a few cards that we can send over, so maybe you'll be completely outfitted and hopefully pleasantly surprised when they get sent out.
Excellent.
So comment, and we will see you next week with more prizes for the 7 weeks of Christmas photo contest. Thanks,
Keep shooting.
Keep shooting.